Learnex. English forever.
Within the traditions of Mexico, there can be no lack of legends. They are so popular that they have become part of the country's folklore. Stories like the Weeping Woman, the Mulatta from Córdoba, the Xochimilco dolls are just a few short stories that have passed from generation to generation. Historical, supernatural, or fantastic characters that make you pay attention to the stories of grandmothers or anyone who knows history. So let's take this Feedback Learnex to go through 6 of those very popular Mexican legends. Number 1, the Weeping Woman. This is more commonly known in Spanish as La Llorona. Legend has it that a long time ago, there was a woman who, to get revenge on the man she loved, murdered her children by drowning them in a river. Immediately afterwards, she repented, and because of guilt, she decided to commit suicide. Since then, she has wandered the streets of different cities at midnight, especially near places where there is water. And she repeats incessantly, "Oh, my children." For this reason, she is known as La Llorona. The roots of this woman and the reasons that led her to take revenge vary accordingly to the version. Likewise, there are those who say that it is a woman who specifically appears to drunk men and punishes them through fright. Number 2, Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl. In central Mexico, there are 2 volcanoes called Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, as an Aztec warrior and the daughter of one of the chiefs had been named respectively. Popocatépetl had to go to war, but he promised Iztaccíhuatl that he would return as soon as possible. However, another warrior who had listened to them and was also in love with the chief's daughter let Iztaccíhuatl know that Popocatépetl had died in combat. Although this had not happened, the sadness was so great that Iztaccíhuatl decided to take her own life. And when Popocatépetl returned and did not find his beloved, he did the same. In a sign of trepidation, the gods decided to bring them together again in the form of 2 great volcanoes. Number 3, the Alley of the Kiss. This legend, typical of the city of Guanajuato, tells that a suspicious father had separated his daughter Carmen from her lover. To such an extent he disliked the love bond that he promised to marry her to another man, richer and more prestigious, who lived abroad. Before complying with this, he locked the daughter in one of the typical houses of the city, which are characterized by being high and one awfully close to the other, divided only by a small alleyway. Fortunately for the lovers, the window of Carmen's room adjoined that of a house for sale, which was quickly acquired by the lover as the only solution for their reunion. Thus, the lovers could be together again. But shortly after, they were discovered by the father, who in a rage stuck a knife in his daughter's chest. Her lover could only kiss her goodbye. Since then, this alley has become dubbed the Kissing Alley, and it is a tradition for couples who go through it to kiss in the very same spot. Number 4, the Mayan Hummingbird. They say when the Mayan gods created the earth, each animal was assigned a specific task. But when they finished, they realized that there was no one to transport ideas, thoughts, and wishes between them. On top of that, they had finished the clay and corn, which are the materials with which they had originated the rest of the things. They only had one small jade stone left, so they decided to carve it and create a small arrow. When they finished, they blew on her and she flew. They had thus created a new being, which they called Unum, which means hummingbird. Number 5, the Mulatta from Córdoba. La Mulatta de Córdoba was a woman condemned to the stake by the Holy Office near the east coast of Mexico. She was credited with the power of eternal youth and being the advocate for impossible cases, like those of unemployed workers and single women. She was always surrounded by men who easily fell in love with her and lost the path of righteousness. Given all the above, they said that she had pacts with the devil and that she even received him in her own home. She was then arrested by the court of the Holy Inquisition, being accused of practicing witchcraft and having arrived on a boat that had not docked at any beach. One night, before serving her sentence, while she was in her cell, she requested that they bring her a piece of coal, with which she drew a boat and was able to fly out of the bars. Upon arrival, the guards could only find a smell of sulfur, the existence of which is recounted to this day. Number 6. The Dead Man's Alley. This legend tells that in the city of Oaxaca in southern Mexico, a man whose task was to light the oil lamps in the city was murdered right there. He had finished his work, but he quickly realized that he needed to light one, so he returned just before returning home. He died mysteriously, and since then, legend has it that his soul appears after 9 o'clock at night to walk the alley of the oil lamps. This is one of the legends of Mexico with more recent origins, but that does not mean that it ceases to be part of the popular culture of the region. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Feedback Learnex. As you can see, there's a lot to say about Mexican legends, so we aren't finished yet. Stay tuned next Thursday night at 9:15 p.m., where we will look at another 6 different Mexican legends.
Feedback Learnex, English Forever. Estamos en sintonía. Feedback Learnex, English Forever. Feedback Learnex.